The last thing we need to do is take care of who gets there first. So this will be collision. So we're going to have collision with the plastic bottle. So we have when plastic collided with. So that's an event when any image sprite collides with the plastic bottle. What we need to decide is it the diver or is it the fish? So we're going to have an if then else out of the control drawer, and we will grab an equals from logic. We're going to test this other. So other tells us what the other image sprite is that's colliding. And we can say if the other is diver, so we'll go all the way to the bottom of diver. So if it's the diver image sprite, then what we want to do is we want to increase our health count. In the past we've used a variable, but labels in App Inventor allow us to keep track of values like numbers. So we set health count to 10. We can use that and add and subtract from the text value. We're going to say set health count text to, and I'll grab a math again, and we're going to add 1 and health count text plus 1. And if it's not the diver, the assumption is it's the fish, and we want it to subtract 1 from its health then if the fish is eating the plastic or interacting with the plastic. Let's see how this will run in the emulator. So I'm going to refresh, and I'm going to try to go down, up a little, down. Okay, so my health has gone up by 1, which is great. The minute that either the diver or the fish gets to the plastic, we want to update the health, but then we want to reset everything and start over again. Okay, so we want to randomly place the 3 image sprites again. We're already doing all of this in screen one initialize. I want to do it again in the collided with event. Because I'm doing it in 2 places, I could copy and paste all of this code, but to be a little bit more efficient, I'm going to make a procedure. I'm going to call it reset. So I'm going to drag out a 2 procedure block, name it reset, and I'm going to drag everything from set plastic X down. Both of these, the setting of the variables, I'll leave that because we only want that to happen once at the beginning of running the app. Reset will now be a procedure that resets the locations of the 3 image sprites and then points the fish towards the target. What I then need to do is go back to procedures, call reset here. So if you recall a procedure, when we call a procedure, it really just jumps to the procedure and runs through all the blocks in the procedure and then comes back. The other place we said we wanted to call reset is down here after the collision with the plastic. Let's look again. I'll uncover my emulator. I'm going to refresh. Okay, so that down. Okay, so we're so far the diver's doing pretty well. So if I went up and then didn't have time to get back down, the fish is going to get there before me. Okay, so now the health has gone down. And what we might decide is that this is giving too big of an advantage to the diver. So we might say, you know what? I'm going to go back to my designer and set the diver speed to 4 as well and see what that does. So let's resize this again and reconnect, refresh. So let's see how we do now. If we can beat the fish. Yep, so that's a tough one. If the fish comes in below, So this makes it a little more competitive between the diver and the fish. So you can decide if you want to make it easier or harder to win the game. So you can adjust the speeds of the fish and the diver to make it either easier or harder to win. So here's an idea where you could have the bottle falling from the top each time, so floating down. So this makes it a little bit more interesting. We have to beat the fish in a little bit more interesting way. This could make it a little more interesting, so that's one idea. Have a floating plastic bottle. And the other thing is you could add a second object, and this I've got a plastic straw, and the fish will be going after both of them, so you really have to hustle as a diver to get to the objects before the fish does. So you can see this makes it a lot harder. And of course the last idea would be to add more fish. That would be fun. These are just a few ideas of how to improve the game. But use your imagination and your own creativity. Have fun.